While Kylie Jenner was busy capturing the perfect aesthetic at Coachella 2026, a massive legal explosion was happening behind the scenes of her multi-million-dollar empire. For years, the entire world has been mesmerized by the curated luxury of the Jenner Kardashian clan, the private jets, the gold-plated faucets, and the endless Get Ready With Me videos that dominate our social media feeds. But a new devastating lawsuit has just ripped the silk curtain away, revealing a side of the family that the cameras never capture. We're not talking about a simple payroll error or a misunderstanding over a schedule. We're talking about explosive allegations of systemic workplace abuse, racial and religious discrimination, and a shocking claim that staff members were physically assaulted with clothing hangers within the walls of a billionaire's home. This is the story the Jenner family is desperate to bury. This is the dark, unfiltered reality of being a servant in the kingdom of Kylie. The face of this intense legal battle is Angelica Vasquez, a woman who entered Kylie's Hidden Hills mansion in September 2024, expecting a high-profile professional environment. Instead, she claims she entered what can only be described as a house of horrors. According to the detailed 45-page filing obtained by investigative reporters and court observers, Vasquez, a Salvadorian woman of devout Catholic faith, was targeted from the very moment she stepped onto the property. The lawsuit alleges that Kylie's management team created a toxic hierarchy based on ethnic purity and national origin, where minority workers were allegedly given the most grueling, physically demanding tasks and subjected to a constant barrage of verbal berating. Vasquez claims she was mocked for her accent on a daily basis and told by her superiors that Catholics are inferior people who have no business working in high-profile estates. The details in the filing are stomach-turning. She describes a culture of fear, where workers were snapped at with fingers like dogs and reminded constantly that their national origin made them disposable and easily replaceable in the eyes of the Jenner brand. But the verbal abuse and emotional manipulation were just the beginning of a much deeper nightmare. The most disturbing and legally significant part of the filing involves a specific incident that allegedly took place in early 2025. Vasquez alleges that after she dared to speak up and complain about the lack of basic rest breaks and the denial of meal periods, a supervisor, acting under the direct authority and employment of the Jenner estate, physically cornered her in a high-tension confrontation. In a sudden fit of rage, the supervisor allegedly began hurling heavy clothing hangers at Vasquez, striking her repeatedly while screaming for her to know her place and shut up and work. The lawsuit describes the psychological and physical trauma of this moment as life-altering and degrading. Vasquez is now reportedly diagnosed with severe PTSD, clinical depression, and chronic anxiety, claiming that the simple sound of a closing closet door or the sight of a hanger now triggers intense panic attacks. This isn't just a labor dispute over missing checks, it's a case of criminal battery and human rights violations being argued in a civil court. It begs the question, how can a woman who builds an empire on empowerment, beauty, and glamour allow such raw violence and degradation to occur under her own roof? To the casual observer who only sees the family through a filtered lens, this might seem like an isolated incident involving a single rogue manager. But for those of us who follow the Kardashians closely, this is a documented, long-standing pattern of behavior that spans over a decade. We have to look back at Kim Kardashian's massive 2021 lawsuit, where 7 maintenance workers joined forces to accuse her of withholding 10% of their hard-earned wages for taxes that were allegedly never reported to the government authorities. We have to remember the heartbreaking story of the 16-year-old boy who was allegedly made to work 48 hours a week at Kim's home, a direct and flagrant violation of California child labor laws. Then there's Kendall Jenner, the supermodel of the family, who has been accused multiple times of bullying and belittling service staff, including the infamous 2014 incident where she allegedly threw $20 bills at a waitress's face like she was a street performer. From the reported sweatshops used to manufacture Kylie cosmetics to the unpaid models who recently sued the brand for $120,000 in missing fees, the evidence is mounting and overwhelming. The Jenner Kardashian wealth is not just built on fame. It is built on the backs of people they allegedly refuse to pay, respect, or treat with basic human dignity. As expected, Kylie's legal team has already issued a cold, calculated response designed to discredit the victim. They claim Angelica Vasquez was a disgruntled employee with documented attendance issues, and a lack of professionalism. This is the classic celebrity playbook: victim blaming and character assassination. They want the public to believe that anyone suing them is simply a clout chaser looking for an easy billionaire payday. But the internet isn't buying the PR spin this time. On platforms like Reddit, X, and TikTok, former employees are starting to find their voices, breaking their non-disclosure agreements to share anonymous, haunting stories of toxic demands, unpaid overtime, and psychological warfare within the Jenner household. The PR machine is currently working double time to bury this story, especially as Kylie attempts to pivot her brand into the world of quiet luxury and high fashion sophistication. But the truth is simple: you cannot have quiet luxury when your housekeepers are screaming for justice in a court of law. Angelica Vasquez is seeking millions of dollars in punitive damages, not just to recover her lost wages, but to send a clear, undeniable message to the elite of Hollywood. As this case moves through the California court system, it serves as a grim, sobering reminder of the reality that exists behind the scenes of reality TV. While we watch the sisters exchange million-dollar birthday gifts and flaunt their Birkin bag collections, the people making those parties happen and cleaning those mansions are allegedly struggling to put gas in their cars or afford basic health care. The case of David Burke showed us how dangerous the highlight reel can be for our mental health. And the case of Angelica Vasquez shows us the devastating human cost of the Jenner empire's expansion. Is it finally time to cancel the Kardashians for good? Or will the world keep buying the lip kits and the skin creams while the people who manufacture and maintain that lifestyle continue to suffer in silence? The truth isn't always glamorous, and it certainly isn't always pretty. But at Glam Exposed, the truth is all we care about. We will be tracking every single court filing, every witness testimony, and every leaked document as this massive case develops in the coming months. If you have ever worked for a major celebrity or a high-profile influencer and have a story that the world needs to hear, our DMs are always open and your identity will remain protected. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on all notifications. Because in the city of Hollywood, the secrets are buried deep, and we're the ones with the shovel ready to dig them up. Thanks for spending your time with us, and always remember, the truth always comes out in the end.